Lamplight Audiobooks presents The Spitfire Girl by Fenella J. Miller, narrated by Sarah Ovens. 1. Essex, July 1939. "Well, Miss Simpson, what do you think?" Joseph Cross asked, as he pointed to the de Havilland 60 Moth that stood proudly on the worn grass outside the barn that served as a hangar. Ellen wanted to hug him, but thought he might not appreciate the gesture. "I love it! Is it dual control?" "No, but it has the usual 2 seats, so can take a passenger." "Good. I've more than enough pupils to teach. Since the government subsidy last year, every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to learn to fly." "I hope you don't expect me to pay you any extra, young lady. I reckon you owe me far more than your wages would have been for all the lessons and hours you've spent flying my aircraft over the past 5 years. She put her hands on her hips. "Giving my brothers and me lessons at your flying club couldn't have been as much as the rent you would have had to pay to use my father's farms and fields." He was about to interrupt, but she continued, not forgetting the fact that Dad bought the first aircraft and both Neil and George acted as instructors until they joined the RAF. He scowled, but she wasn't fooled for a minute. "The cost of one lesson is usually £2. The 3 of you never paid a penny. Joe, I don't want to stand here arguing anymore. I want to take her up before it gets too hot. Are you coming with me, or can I go solo?" "Circuits and bumps only, my girl. No flying off into the wild blue yonder. There are 3 new inquiries to be dealt with in the office. I want you to sort those out this morning." The other aircraft the flying club owned were a Swallow and a Gypsy Moth. Both were fitted with dual controls. Joe had several clients who liked to go up on their own and pootle about until the fuel ran out. This, de Havilland, had been bought to satisfy those clients. Sidney, the ground engineer, and the only other full-time employee, wandered out from the hangar. "Nice little machine, Ellie, sweet as a nut. You going to take it up for a spin?" "If that's all right with you, I'd love to. I'll not be long. I just want to get the feel of it for myself." "The bloke what brought it says it flies like the Gypsy, only a bit faster. You'll have no problem, you're a natural. I remember your first solo flight when you were no more than a nipper." Joe poked his head out of the office. "No time for reminiscing, Sid. Let her get on with it. Just had a bell and we've got a new pupil coming in an hour." "Sorry, Gov. I'll not hold her up." She collected her helmet and goggles and scrambled into the cockpit. Even though the weather was warm, she needed her flying jacket on over her dungarees. It got a bit nippy at 1,000 feet above the land. After doing her pre-flight checks, she taxied into position on the grass runway and took off.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?